She'll get some agendas out. She'll figure it out. You know what that means? Fish Road is currently in non-certified status.
Yeah, I have no idea what any of that means. What any of this.
Existing road. Existing road, you can't dump it.
No idea. It has not been maintained since around 1980. But I guess it was only getting a portion of it. I have no clue. Yeah. Essentially a road. That's not version. Does it say that?
About 3 days.
Me too.
Split it.
That's actually very. Hey there. I mean, I know you take the whole road. Yeah. I keep on it. I don't spray that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call. Rick Robertson.
Here.
Joan David. Here. Amanda Hunter.
Here.
John Clark.
Here.
Nancy Conlon. Everyone is here.
Approve agenda. I would like to add number 4 to new business. Oh, I put the approval. To discuss Fish Road. I make a motion to approve the agenda with that addition.
I'll support.
Okay, motion by David, supported by Hunter to approve agenda with number 4 new business Fish Road added. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 5-0. Approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Support.
Okay, motion by Hunter, supported by Robertson to approve the minutes for June 20, 2023. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 5-0. Public comments on action items only. Okay. Approval of bills. Does anybody have any questions?
Make a motion to approve the bills as submitted.
I'll support.
Okay, motion by Conley, supported by Hunter to approve the bills totaling $43,600. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 5-0. Treasurer's report?
Alright, so as of the end of June, we had $910,714.43 in our general fund money market account. Our general fund checking account had $13,777.13 with outstanding checks of $12,637.13, leaving our end balance at $1,140 for a total cash available of $911,854.43. Our treasury accounts ended at $4,052.72, both of them added together, and we took in $45,602.69 last month in funds. That includes the set reimbursement from the 2022 tax season, revenue sharing, and we had the county pay us for something, and I can't remember without seeing the receipts right now, but that's what the 35,708.44 is revenue sharing plus that other amount that we got from, I believe, the county treasurer. And we earned $2,737.18 in interest. And we had cleared checks last month of $25,614.87. Also in my treasurer's report, I said that I would let you guys know this month what I talked to Choice One with how long they'll lock us in for. They said that they couldn't guarantee a lock-in price because markets fluctuate, but he said that he would imagine it would be at least 6 months before anything changed.
Okay.
So, you do anything yet?
I've got the account started, we're still working on finalizing everything.
Was that sharing, that metro fee, was that?
Yes, yeah,
$5,913.44.
yes, that was the other one.
Okay.
That was in there, cause I think the, revenue sharing was 28 or 29.
Still up there quite a bit.
It's still up there. Any other questions?
29,795.
Yes.
Thank you. Correspondence?
I did get something here from the household hazardous waste collection, which will be August 19th. It's pretty much the same as last year. This does tell us a little bit more about what they accept and what they don't. I'm gonna see if Michael will put this on our website for the people that are using it. We have very few people that do. We usually just donate a set amount. No, I can't say donate, but we give them a set amount because we have so few people and they base their.
Didn't we already do that this year?
This is for the next year. So anyways, it's August 19th from 9 to 1 at the Hart Department of Public Works. If anyone is interested in what the materials they accept and what they don't, I can make copies of this for you tonight before you leave at the end of the meeting, if you're interested. And it does tell you on here things that aren't acceptable, but where you can take them. And I had not seen this before. Large appliances, Oceana Auto, ammunition and explosives to the Sheriff's Department. I mean, that was something I never thought about, what you can or not. But anyways, if anyone's interested, I will run them copies and we'll have it put on the website.
Okay. I've got a couple things for correspondence. One, we received the millage rates from the county equalization office, and we've already approved them back with our budget hearing. That's what we did. But
So we don't have to do that again?
We
right?
don't have to do it. It's already approved. You guys just need to sign it and send it in. But the rates for Newfield Township for this winter are going to be 1.1910 millages for the operating and 1.0000 for the fire protection for this year's tax levy for winter.
Winter taxes.
And then also, I got a phone call earlier today, from TextMyGov. They are interested in having a meeting with us regarding, I sent you, or I gave you guys all the flyer and
Okay.
everything. It's basically a way that the community can get text messages directly from us, so we can send out a mass text to everybody that subscribes. So that we can cut down on phone calls, we can send out reminder things for, hey, dump days this weekend, or, you know, the treasurer's office hours will be closed this week, or the recycle center will be closed this week. So I guess I am just looking to see if that's something that we're interested in, and if so, wondering if it's okay if, Mike, the IT person, and me have that 10 to 15 minute informational demonstration over Zoom and bring back information next month on it, or if we're not even interested in it at all.
Okay, we'll read through it and see.
Okay.
Amanda, it also can be part of the emergency response plan that every township is supposed to have.
Okay.
So it probably is a, yeah,
I mean, it sounded interesting, you know, when he talked to me on the phone. Normally I'd just be like, no, we're not interested, but it sounded worthwhile for our township, especially because one of the top priorities was communication. They feel like they don't have enough communication. Well, this would, you know, it doesn't give any sort of commitment if I go through the 15-minute review, but if I go through that 15-minute review, I can bring more information back next month, cost and everything. So I don't know if we need a motion for that, if it's okay for me to just go ahead and do the informational
Get the
session
information.
and bring it back.
Yeah, just do that.
Okay.
Okay. Business items. Old business. I had mentioned something about, painting the hall. I had 5 people, a gentleman from Fremont, 1 from Greenwood, and 3 from Newfield, but the one from Fremont and Greenwood, they never turned theirs in. So I gave you guys copies of the 3 that I did get. I gave everybody the same information, and these are the different quotes that came up with. And it would be to paint this meeting room, the office, and the 2 bathrooms.
One's old. So this young gal's gonna buy the paint too?
Yeah,
This-
yep.
Oh,
And all 3 of them are insured, licensed and insured. I feel that not only is the Townsend, it's her and her mom that do it, I think, are lower, but she's also,
college student.
well, that, and she's not already an employee of the
I agree.
township.
I agree, she, out of the 3 quotes, hers I like best just because the other 2 are employees of the township. So I'd like to make a motion to go with Ally Townsend Painting.
Making a motion?
Yep, to go with the Ally Townsend Painting for the total quote of $1,693 to paint the meeting room, the office space, and the 2 bathrooms.
I'll support that. Motion by Hunter, supported by David, to hire Ally Townsend Painting to do all the painting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Next, Steve, do you have an update on the public safety ordinance review?
I have not heard back from Sawyer.
Okay,
I called him again today, left a voicemail, so we're still waiting for him to to get back with us. Once he does, then we'll schedule a public hearing, and go from there.
Okay.
I don't expect there'll be a lot of changes.
There are a couple things in here that I didn't either like or that they weren't clarified enough. If I email those to you, can you address those with Sawyer as well?
Sure.
Okay. I will get those emailed over to you.
New business, approach on the recycling center. And the cement work that was done out there ended up being cheaper than what was quoted and what is in the grant. And I think that Nancy said that the approach that they would have to do, the money difference would cover that, so it wouldn't be any extra money out of the grant.
Right, Mike was underbid because he, in his initial bid, had put in the post, thinking that he'd got with them, but he was thinking he had to include that in his bid. And actually, the fencing man included it in his bid, so that made Mike under. And so he will remove 18 to 20 feet from the north edge in, all the way across, and then do an approach he'll put in some sand or whatever, and then he'll put in crushed concrete for the approach. But we can include it in what was the grant, because he was low bid. Yeah, he was underbid. So I make a motion that we go with Mike Rosema to finish the job for the grant, for the approach to the recycle pad.
And what did he quote us again for that? I know it's under, the original.
It was like 12 something, and he ended up, it was 10, so it's gonna.
No, I'm saying for the approach. What's the quote for the approach?
He said 2,000.
Okay, but he thought it'd be good.
So he's gonna be in that.
Okay.
I'll support it.
Okay, motion by Conley, supported by Clark to approve the approach on the recycle center. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Next is wages.
So I didn't have a chance to go much into detail on the IT wages, so I'll hold off on that one, but the trustee wages, I did put in my initial email to all these townships asking what they paid their trustees. I gave you each a sheet. It shows what the yearly salary is, and then I broke it down by the number of registered voters in the township and the taxable value of the township that was on BSNA's website. So as far as everything goes, the average dollar of salary per voter was $1.53 per voter, and the average taxable value was 0.000043 per dollar of taxable value of what everybody paid their employees, their trustees. So in comparison to the other townships in the area, Newfield Township is paying their trustees significantly less than average when taking into account the registered voters and the taxable value. So the study includes similar sized townships as well as larger and smaller townships. So based on just the registered voters, 10 out of the 12 townships that are listed here are paying their trustees more per registered voter than Newfield is, and based on the taxable value, 9 out of 12 of the townships are paying their trustees more per dollar of taxable value. So I believe that the trustees need a raise.
Do they, I know different townships have different requirements for their trustees, and like when been going to village meetings, I realized that the people that serve on the village council also are on a lot of committees that they're responsible. Does that change like every year, or is that pretty much for the time that they're elected?
Yeah, I put it every year.
Okay.
Then they get It's $40 per.
Okay, so they get $40 a meeting regularly. If it's a regular meeting, if it's a special meeting, it's $40. And if they meet on their committees, then they also get the $40. That's what they get. But most all of them are on different committees that are set up by your board.
My set.
You set committees up, okay. So I know Greenwood has some working trustees, they're on a couple committees also. I know one in particular, so I guess, is there, did you check to see what the
Greenwood's $140.
Greenwood gets 140? A meeting, okay. I guess looking to see if they are also, besides attending the meeting, are they working clerk or trustees on different projects in the township?
That is one thing that I could check on,
Okay,
but I don't know, I still think that our trustees are underpaid.
well, I think normally we don't, when we change wages, we normally do it at budget time. We did do some wage changing, but we had counted for that into the budget when we did it for the individual offices this year. We took that in consideration ahead of time and allowed that. So I would like you to check on what is around the area if you would like to. What area clerks make and what their responsibility, or not clerks, what I keep saying, trustees make, and then not only that, but then we go back to this at budget time at the end of the year, or the beginning of the new year.
We don't have to wait till budget time. That is one thing that I did clarify. You can change wages at any point in
Yes, I
time.
realize that, but if we don't allow that much in our budget for it, that's what I'm saying.
But we do still have a significant amount in our unallocated too, that would cover all of that. So,
I wanna be able to look at this a little bit more, so I think that if we do this in the IT and we can act on it next month.
So if we get the other information, we get again next meeting, we'll look at it.
So everybody fine with that?
so we basically wanna know what the responsibilities are of other townships,
If
trustees.
they serve on committees or whatever, if there's any job description, committees, and what the area townships around us, which we do have Denver. The other ones are pretty, be nice to get Greenwood, Pat Booty's over at,
Cause I mean, just looking at Weir has 1,050 voters, and they're making $1,872
yeah,
a year. We have nearly twice that amount, and our trustees are getting $100 more, less than $100 more.
we'll check and see what Greenwood, I know what the village is making.
For them, we have to check and see what, they got a lot more business on the weird and what cheaper. That's gonna make a big difference, they got a lot.
Yeah, and that's where their taxable value comes in. Their taxable value is,
I was gonna say.
their taxable value is actually less than ours in comparison. So,
One thing Amanda might be looking at the budget, because, you know, some of that is paid, you know, if you're managing, like, think of a financial advisor, right? If a financial advisor is managing $100,000, they're paid less than someone who's managing $2 or $3 million. So our budget has gone up significantly, obviously, you know. And so that might be almost a better comparison.
well, I guess the other thing I'm looking at is I did this exact same one for the clerk, supervisor, and treasurer, and ours all matched that average rate, between the average rate for ours.
Okay.
Theirs do not.
Okay.
So,
Well, if you would check on the ones that are right close, Greenwood, Pat Booty's over in,
Yeah, but they're not gonna be close to
Yeah,
us.
I don't know.
Yeah,
no, I think Otto.
they're not.
Pat's and Otto. They kinda run about the same with us on quite a bit of stuff and how we do things. So, could you check on that and bring it back next month?
yeah, as long as we can put it back on the agenda next month.
I would like to make a motion that we increase the trustees' salaries to $3,000 a year.
I'll support that.
Starting when?
Starting in August.
Yeah, starting in August.
Starting in August.
Okay, motion by Robertson, supported by Clark to increase the trustee wages to $3,000 per year.
Two. I'll say 2 or 3.
It's great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would recommend.
Per year, beginning in August of 2023. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. QuickBooks,
So was that carried 5?
5-0.
Okay, QuickBooks, so my QuickBooks subscription for the desktop expires in August, so I was trying to get a jump on this. And I did a little bit of research. It looks like if I'm going to continue with the the desktop version, it's going to be $549, which I believe is approximately $200 more a year than it was last year. Or if I switch over to their online version, which is pretty much the exact same thing, it's $30 a month. I can cancel it anytime. I'm not locked in for a year. So my thought was to go to the $30 a month program. So it's online. I'd be able to do everything on either of my computers for the township, and I'd be able to cancel it anytime. So if we ended up getting a server and we ended up switching over to BSNA so that everything's seamless, I don't have wasted product, essentially. I'm not paying that full year for only using it half a year.
And this, when would this start?
It would start in August. Or whenever my subscription runs out. I think it was like August 12th, so it would be before the next board meeting. And the other thing is I can do a 3-month trial period, or I can do, or a 30-day trial period, which is 30 days free, or I can do 3 months at $15 a month, and then the rest goes to $30 a month. So it's actually cheaper if I do the $15 a month for 3 months, because then I'm saving $45 versus if I'm doing a free month, it's just $30. So I would like to make a motion to renew QuickBooks at the online, QuickBooks Online at the $30 a month, with the first 3 months being $15 a month.
Support.
Motion by Hunter, supported by Robertson to purchase the QuickBooks beginning in August. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. The next thing is this paper that I gave you. So we have a family that lives up here on Fish Road, and if you go up there, it curves around to the left, and if you go to the right, it actually goes to the old Replogo house. And Vicki Burrell talked to the Oceana County Road Commission about getting a portion of the road, which is her driveway, abandoned. And then the road commission said that we had to say if we have any objections to officially making an abandoned drive. It has not been maintained since 1980 or even earlier than that, and they want to know if we agree to abandon it and if we can put either a dead end or a no outlet sign at the at the bottom of the road.
On,
It'd be right up there in the corner.
204th? Is where
No,
the sign would go?
Are you talking the one where the old Enderly place where Republic was like?
yeah,
That-
right straight out. If you, from the,
Past Sandy's?
yeah, if you, so if you,
Sign at the end of the road.
so maybe
You
it's,
said
See,
there
I thought
already
she was
is
talking
one?
about coming in off of 204th. You know where I mean, where,
Oh, that's been, when I was a little girl, they blocked that off.
oh, did they? Okay.
but
I
it,
think it's still-
we have to officially say that it's okay
But it does have a
to
dead
call
end
it
sign?
abandoned.
Yeah, at our end.
At your end, okay. Sandy said there's a dead end sign at her.
Well, there needs to be one at both ends
Oh,
though.
okay.
There's not one at the other end.
Okay.
So is this like double dotted line, is that what we're looking at, abandoned? I guess I don't understand based on the map.
So this is, right here's the cemetery and here's the dirt road
Okay,
and it goes around here.
Okay.
We're talking about this right here
okay,
and it, yeah, it's never gets used and it goes right to their house.
okay. Does it affect
does-
anybody else?
No,
Okay,
it doesn't affect
That's not
anybody.
what she's talking about. She's
Huh?
talking about her driveway over on 204.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, come, but
Right
it,
off Fish. You're talking 198 right here by the cemetery.
no, going that way.
Right. Where's the cemetery?
Well, I was just, it's on the north side if you keep going. So,
okay,
so right here.
okay, so just in here.
So we just have to agree that it's abandoned because the road, they don't plow it or anything.
Sandy's got
It's a right of way, but.
Are they gonna block or not drive, maintain the road like up to our chapel then?
Do they maintain it now?
Yes.
past your business. On past the business, where the chapel's at.
What all did you,
Turn the corner is Fish.
yeah,
And from there up to our chapel, they still maintain.
okay. What all do they do to maintain it? Do they brine it? Do they plow it? Both?
Yes.
So if we did this, we would want it to start on the other side of the driveway that goes to the chapel and then coming in from 204th?
We should check with the rest of the property owners. We got property up against it.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the easement.
Well, it's Newfield Township property.
And it's from Opals.
And Republicans.
Yeah.
That's the only ones on that section.
So I guess maybe we should wait until next month to
Yeah.
decide because I need to talk to the road commission about going up to it because
Yes.
it's not right for us to make a decision on something
Right,
that, you
I
know?
agree.
If they're plowing it, you know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so,
I think we need a little more clarification, so
Yeah.
we can bring this back next month.
yeah, yeah. And this I just got this afternoon, so it was kind
So
of
you're
thrown
going
in there.
to check with the road commission, Joan,
Yep,
and we'll revisit it next month?
yes. Yep. Reports. MTA, we have our meeting next Wednesday at Ferry Township at 6 o'clock for any elected officials. That's about all we have right now. Planning Commission, Michael couldn't be here tonight.
I can report for that. We have a joint meeting of the board and planning commission on this coming Thursday in 2 days at 6:30, which will be a visioning session with community leaders from the business community, faith community, and other government entities here at the Township Hall at 6:30. That will be conducted by Jeff Kessler from McKenna and Associates. And that's the big news.
Okay.
That'll be that's for the master plan. That's what that's for. Yeah, so that's kind of the first step.
Okay, thank you. Our marijuana enforcer is up in Drummond Island with his family, so he's not here. I did add the county commissioner. Apologize ahead of time for not letting you know I did that, but is there anything going on that we?
There's a lot going on.
My name's Paul Erickson. Medical care, we're still losing money. We've still got a low census. We're still having trouble getting help. But we're open for business. The halls are open. You can go in and out and see your loved ones. So it's a good feeling. That's all going well. Parks, we've been pretty involved in our parks. Few things. Black Lake has had Pam Blau out there, Pam Blau and Associates, and we've mapped that a couple different times for possible alternate uses of the park as far as traffic pattern is concerned and water access is concerned, and water trails is something that we're taking an interest in so that you can launch a kayak or a small boat and go to the other side of which is also county property. So we're working on Black Lake on a few things. A pavilion is another thing that's being that's planned for Black Lake. Crystal Valley Township Park, the Parks Board has applied for a $1 million Spark grant, and Pam Blau also did do that site plan, which is a beautiful plan for that. It was on the front page of the newspaper a few weeks ago. But gorgeous idea, excellent park location. Crystal's very busy. They still have softball there. There's still some fishing, tennis, pickleball is one big thing. They're tearing some tennis courts out and put pickleball in, and there's a lot of basketball played there. So we've been watching that park. One of the big things would be flush toilets, so that we would be able to get rid of the outhouses, because we still have outhouse tippers in Crystal Valley. Also down at our Claybanks Township Park, down in, Claybanks, down in Benona Township Park at the Marshville Dam, that money has finally been funded and is coming our way. Parks has already bought the new bridge. It'll be inventoried at the Road Commission, and construction on the new Marshville Dam Park will begin next year. But the money had been held up as part of a clawback, but it now has been released for the change in that park. The county just acquired a new Malibu. We've been running on a very old Dodge that was totaled. Small accident totaled the vehicle, so the county purchased a new Malibu for county business out of the ARPA funds. We started with $5.2 million in ARPA dollars, and we have approximately $400,000 left that's not committed. So the ARPA money had basically gone to sheriff services, inmate services, prisoners, and mental health, where the lion's share of the ARPA dollars did go. And I'm looking into that deeper so that I can have a further report where the money didn't go. Another thing that I did do in the last month is I, as the chairman of the grounds and buildings inventory, I was given a full tour along with Phil Morris, another commissioner, and Tracy Gard, our administrator, of all of our county assets. So we started right in the county building, went to the basement. We looked at all the records that are stored down there that are being all, marked to save or destroy. We've got a real space problem in the basement. The basement's packed, and we're buried in 50-year-old books. So we're looking right now at moving books out of the courthouse, getting them out to our storage. And I'll tell you a bit about that in a minute. So we did the complete tour of the basement, of which we have a very, very proficient emergency services base in there. It's built like a bunker, and all of our communications are headquartered down in the basement of the courthouse under the sheriff's department. And the power for our 60 inmates, we do have 60 inmates, and the numbers are about the same. We're almost full capacity. We didn't have a lot of electric force traffic this year, remarkably, but we do have a full house. They're all felons, and I believe there's still almost 900 outstanding warrants in Oceana County yet to be served, but we don't have anywhere to put these people if we serve the warrants, arrest the people, and haul them in. So there's a lot ahead of us as far as processing those warrants that are all right down. We inspected the generator room, we gave the courthouse a good look, we went up to our services building, the annex building on Griswold. If you remember, that used to be the intermediate school district building that we had added on to a couple times. So we've got probation and parole up there, we have the extension, we have 4-H, we have our veterans, and our emergency services manager's office. So we took a complete tour of that. We've got growing pains with our veterans. We don't have enough room. Offices are all full of probation and parole. But the classrooms have come in very handy. We had all the Western Michigan sheriffs, police chiefs came a week ago, and they have a complete class on communications, emergency services, as we have. This is all kind of ramped up through the electric forest, of which we had about 70,000 people in Rockbury, if you've been familiar with electric forest and what happened there. But so we finished up with that building and went out to take a look at our ambulance building, the life building, we call it now, but it used to be Oceana Ambulance. A lot of space there that's not being utilized. Beautiful building, living quarters, 4 big bays, 5 bays for vehicles, standby generator in that building, but we don't utilize that building as we should. And it's my understanding Life will be erecting this new building out on 20 soon, but we're continually told soon. So, you know, I don't know how you feel about your ambulance representation over here, but based upon the numbers that we've been given by Life, the response times have been a little long, but in defense of them, we've still had a problem manning the buses, and we do now have 3 buses on. And if you remember through COVID, we had trouble keeping 2 buses on the road, but now we do have 3 buses, so that's good. And at the West Shore Community College, we have about 14 graduates coming up in the next EMS class, so there are more kids that are getting schooling. And I think they have like 14 or 15 signed up for the new class that comes out this fall. So West Shore is starting to fill that void for help on the buses. We went across the street to our District 10 Health Department. Beautiful building, large building, a lot of floor space, large rooms, office rooms, boardrooms. Not a lot of life in there. We don't have a lot of bodies working in that building. So considering different alternative uses that we may be able to come up with there. And also, if you're familiar with this property, it's called the Cooney property. It's on Oceana Drive north of Park. We also have a dental building, District 10 dentist used to be in there. It was a pretty busy office, but we've had trouble getting dentists. We had a short-term dentist that just left, so now there is not a dentist for that office. So that's another large building that I've taken a look at that we need to find a use for. We also have the Sheriff's Pole building up there, and in that building we store all of our extra equipment. We've got our phone beat, we've got our emergency management trailer, we've got our spare trucks and spare cars, all within that building. And we also store our records in that building. So that's where all this stuff out of the basement is supposed to end up, is up in another building, waiting for the state to allow us to destroy those records unless a historical endeavor might find a use for them. So we've got that going on. I'd like to remind you, pleasant afternoon. It's Mayor's 150th anniversary this year. In August, we'll have a small parade in Mears, and all the buildings will be open, and hopefully we'll be dedicating a new barn that we're erecting in Mears with the Historical Society. And I'd like to remind you that the fair days are coming up, and Carnival will start on the 16th, and the fair will be the following week. Anybody got any questions?
Hey, thank you.
Did you get your money's worth?
Yes, I did. Thank you. Cemetery.
I had two cremation burials for the month, and 2 stone bases I put down. We had 4 resident hospitals. And I had got to mow a little bit more off since it started raining.
Thank you. Zoning?
Okay. We had 3 new zoning permits last month. And so far this month, we've had another 3, and we're only just past halfway through the month. So we're starting to catch up with last year a little bit. And last year was a pretty good year. We only had 1 complaint that came in last month, and that was dealt with the marijuana enforcer. Probably the biggest thing that happened is that I went to a training in Newfield County at the 79th district, or 78th rather, district court on civil infractions, which kind of ties in with our rewrite of the ordinance. It went through what the law is in terms of dealing with civil infractions as opposed to misdemeanors. And violations of public safety codes, how to prosecute them, what's required, and what the law is. It was probably one of the best trainings I've been to in 10 years of doing this. It's just really informative. I then went and contacted the 79th District Court, which is the one in Hart, and asked if they were going to do a similar training. That ain't going to happen, unfortunately. I also asked that they follow all the same procedures. They kind of were non-committal, but they did provide some guidance materials that they put out previously, which was helpful, I guess. But I did get a much better understanding of what happens as we go to court, if we go to court. The difference between going in front of the magistrate as opposed to going in front of the judge in a formal hearing versus a formal hearing. So it was good stuff. We have, I think right now, basically we have 3 real problematic properties. Over here on 198 by the Broken Bridge, one on Loop over here that they cleaned up partially, but it's still a mess. Woodrow between 186 and 176. And those are kind of the focus. The one on 162nd, or not 162nd, well, I guess it's called Lakeview, that got cleaned up this last month. The one on Hightower Road, that Joan and Dennis hauled 97,000 pounds of garbage out of. We haven't had any more complaints there, so it seems to be going okay. The one on 204th, they're making some progress there, so I think we're not doing too bad.
Okay. Thank you. Roads. They worked on Baker Road. They started it yesterday or today? Yesterday.
I saw it yesterday.
Yesterday. So yesterday they worked on Baker, and it's not very long, so I'm assuming that it's done, so I gotta go up there and look at it. Hightower, they came in last week and they did, not a very thick layer, but then they came back yesterday and did another layer on 1 lane, and they're coming back either Thursday or Friday. I'm assuming it's probably gonna be Friday, since they're supposed to have storms Thursday. And then they'll fix the other side, and if you haven't been down there yet, even though it's not finished, it sure is nice driving it. So that's where we're at with roads right now.
Can I ask a quick question on roads? And it's the county, you said this year was gonna do 192nd. I feel like I heard that. Do we know that, or?
They talked about doing the part of 192nd that's past you, down one of the dips before Gale, I think is what they.
Because, I mean, 192nd is fine, and I know that's not anything we're paying for,
No.
but I remember when we talked about this a few months ago, it was brought up that 192nd might be getting done this year.
There was just one little portion of it that they were talking about. unless things change.
Okay.
As far as I know, that's
Okay.
all. But I don't know when they're doing it or exactly what they're doing, but
That's okay, I was just curious if you had any updates, if they told you, hey, we're doing this weekend.
hopefully they do some other roads before they do that again.
Right, yeah, no,
Not
that
that I
one's
don't
fine.
want you to have a pretty road, but it's
My
nothing wrong
road's
with
already
that.
pretty,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it, it doesn't need to be done.
Public comments?
Jim Draper on 184. So I'd like to share something that was quoted in our church recently, which could apply to many issues of the day, including the drug production, sales, and use in our township. What was said is, first we overlook evil, then we permit evil, then we legalize evil, then we promote evil, then we celebrate evil, then we persecute those who still call it evil. And then there's a vast amount of topics that fall under. But it can be easily demonstrated how this can occur in one lifetime. Back in the early 90s, there was a very popular Charlie Daniels song called Simple Man. In rural America, including here in this area, this was on every country music station. This song was mainstream rural America. And I would guess that your husband Dennis and probably Nancy's husband sang along with this song when it came on the radio. I would challenge you all to listen to this song today, and you'll see how dramatically that your stance has changed. On another note, your zoning administrator and constable is still harassing me over erroneous zoning violations. During last month's meeting, when I brought up his threat of issuing civil infractions to me, he started yelling about it not being a threat but a promise. I still have no official, just threats and harassment. Also, on the complaint, it is indicated that the township board has instructed him to pursue the supposed complaint against me, all because I still call selling drugs evil, which is something that your parents did, and something that you probably used to do. I pray that you would have a come to Jesus moment and turn from the path you're leading this community on, and that you would instead lead this community toward a safe, wholesome, family-friendly environment like we had the privilege of growing up in. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Any board discussion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kennerman 8814 East Buchanan. On the way into our road, we got a speed limit 25 sign, and then at the end, around the corner, there's another speed limit 25. And I've contacted the state police and tried to get more signs up there, and they said, well, we don't know if that's a 25 speed limit area or not. It's like, these are old signs, there's probably 30 to 40 houses down East Buchanan. And I had a guy fly by tonight as we're having dinner. I thought, I gotta go to the town board meeting. It's happening tonight. That's why I was late, it's in dinner. But, you know, if you guys can get a hold of somebody from the county, and the neighbor lady, she about got clipped coming around her driveway about a month ago, because a guy come flying over a hill, there's hidden drives. I mean, they need to do something there to get the traffic to slow down. My wife doesn't like to hear me holler, but I don't like to see people speeding down the road. I mean, when I get out here on 20, I go 60, most of us do, right? But it's a high traffic area. I got people passing me. So, I mean, it's a small area, you know, slow traffic. So if somebody can get over the county or somebody and say, hey, you know, we need to have some more signs put up or something.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, board discussion? Anybody have anything?
I just want to address you a second. What was the people there, are you like on Clarence Lake, is that where?
I'm on Barnett Lake, I'm right next door to
Right,
Five
okay.
Lakes Resort.
Yeah, I know where you're at, okay. My point is, what would the people that live along the road think about maybe the township being able to afford to install some speed bumps?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, that would pretty much solve the problem.
Sure would.
You get one of them going 60, you're butter
I
than
mean,
lake.
a guy flew by tonight, he was doing at least 45. I mean, it used to blink.
No, we put speed bumps down there going into Oxbow because of that same problem. Anyway,
Yeah.
that might be a solution.
That'd be great.
Let me just tell you, it'd be a lot easier to do something like that than try to get the sheriff department, the state
Oh,
police,
yeah.
and everybody else to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, the guy from the state police force thinks it's 55 there, and I'm going,
Yeah, right.
you know, come on, I don't know where he's
No,
from.
yeah, there's way too many people, kids, yeah, anyway.
All right, thank you.
Especially this time of year, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll check that out.
Okay.
All right, what'd you have?
Don't worry, yeah, it would be easy. I just wanted a question on the speed bump thing. You definitely want a sign and a speed bump. Because if they hit that speed bump, they'll end up in somebody's yard.
Oh, yeah. I would like to have some hidden driveway signs, because when you come over that hill, I mean, it's a hidden drive, and that lady, she had to speed to get out of her driveway. And, so, yeah, any kind of signage would be great, and speed bump.
Yeah, I think we should put that on the agenda for next month, see what we can find and.
Joe's got a
Yep.
foot in the road commission.
Exactly. So I just wanted to add for clarification for Thursday night's meeting is that it is not a meeting. I was talking to Mike earlier. It's not a meeting, it's a workshop. But since we are doing a dual meeting or a dual workshop with the township board and the planning commission, that those on the board and planning commission are getting paid. I don't know if we need a motion for that or whatnot, because normally in the past I know that workshops have not been paid for those, but
But we made a motion.
but we
last
did make a
month.
motion last month,
Yeah,
so I don't know if we need a motion to approve paying, or if we're just gonna.
Well, go ahead and make a motion.
Okay.
And
I make a motion that we pay the, per diem people that are in attendance at Thursday night's workshop, that they get paid their normal, meeting salary.
I'll support that. So motion by Hunter, supported by David to pay the per diem, board members for Thursday's meeting if they come and stay for the whole time, and clean up afterwards. No, strike that last part. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0.
To add one thing to that, real quickly, there also will be 2 public, town hall type meetings for public input into the master plan process. That's why this is kind of a separate thing.
Yeah, this is.
So that just so folks know, it's not that we're not getting public input, that we're only taking input from that group. There will be 2 more sessions actually at different times, days, to catch people who work on different shifts.
Yeah, because this one was an invitation only type thing for
exactly.
stakeholders, so. Another thing I wanted to discuss was, I think, we should have a policy regarding the security cameras. So we need a policy regarding who can access them, what access people have, and, what securities or what, liabilities we need from our insurance. And Mike and I have been looking at some of the policies, and I would like to see about putting that on the agenda either next month or the following month of.
Do you want like a workshop meeting, is that what you're talking?
We can, or we don't have to. I can get with Mike and we can write one and, hand it out to everybody and then just look at it at a meeting, make decisions on
About
whether.
security policies?
Yeah, basically for the security cameras, security policy, who can access it, who can,
And the liability.
yeah.
I know that they're aware of it, cause I turned that in on our, equipment
Okay.
stuff, and they're also aware on the liability.
Okay.
Insurance is already,
Okay, so basically township employees are already covered for liability on that?
I'm pretty sure, but I'll double check with Connie.
Okay. Or even if you wanna give me the number and I can call and check and whatnot, but I just feel like we really need to have a policy on
I just
file
got the
for
new
that.
policy book from them.
Okay.
The update, so I'll show you where it's at.
Okay, perfect. And then, like I said, I'll get with Mike and we'll throw a rough draft together, hopefully before the next board meeting. We can decide if we like it or not. If not, we can go back to the drawing board, and if we like it, we can adopt it. So,
Okay.
and then I was also, sorry, writing and talking doesn't work for me. The sign out here, I was talking to Mike earlier today, he had talked to the place where we could purchase a sign, and they said that we can either do the one-sided sign like we had all agreed on, or for approximately $2,000 cheaper, we could do a two-sided sign, but it would not be full color. It would be red, blue, or red, green, and yellow.
Well, I think it should be two-sided, just, I think that some people were confused when we talked about the sign last month, thinking that the sign was gonna be like it is now, and you would read it from the front or the back, where it would actually be turned the other way, so you can read it as you're going up and down the road. And that's why we initially wanted a two-sided one.
And I guess that was what I was not understanding. I was thinking it was gonna be listed how it was, but
No, it would go the other way, because otherwise, if we had it that way, you'd have to come in the parking lot and read it, or you'd have to sit along the road, where if we turn the sign, then you're looking at it, you know, whichever way
So do you
you're.
wanna make a motion?
So
to
I
rescind?
guess, I don't know if I wanna make a motion to rescind, but I would like to make a motion to, allow him to choose a one-sided or a two-sided sign within our 15,000 that we still allocated. So if we think the two-sided sign, cause if we're doing it that way, which makes more sense, I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it last month. And I don't think we need a full color sign. I think as long as we've got four lines of text, which both of these have, you might as well save $2,000, get the cheaper one that is dual-sided. So I guess I'd like to make a motion that, you know, we can fit with whichever side works best within that $15,000 budget range.
Okay, I support that. Motion by Hunter, supported by David, to allow Michael to get the sign that is most beneficial to be able to be read from both north and south traffic. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 5-0. Anything else?
Neighbors don't holler. But it ain't gonna be running at night, right?
No,
I mean,
it doesn't need to, I
Right.
mean,
I mean,
It
you know,
doesn't.
like someone run all night or.
But I think these have a dimmable feature too.
yeah,
Probably
you,
a timer
they
on
can,
it.
well, he can program it to come on at a certain time and off, but then you got people that are only out at night that, you know, but he can control the
Right.
brightness of it, so.
Right,
It's not gonna be as bright as that light that the neighbors complain about,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And my only other thing was, do we have an ETA for when the fencing for the recycle center is gonna be?
I didn't hear you.
Do we have an ETA for the recycle center fencing? Cause I know we've already
I called
paid
him a
for
week
it.
ago, 2 weeks ago, and left a message. This last Monday, he called me back. He said, we're running behind, but you are on our list, and I understand that you're going to have the, dumpsters delivered by the end of July, and we will have the sign, or the fencing in place.
Okay,
So that's where he's at.
okay, no,
So,
that's fine, that's all I
He
had
did get
for.
back with me, and he said they're very busy.
Perfect. That's all I got for my questions and such.
Okay. We had Board of Review today, and after going through everything, we have the highest amount of veteran exemptions. We're at 24. We have another new one that's going to be approved in December, so then we'll be up to 25, but just the 24, those 24 exemptions comes to $1.3 million in taxable value that we are losing out on, which.
But that's still awesome though, for the service that we've got. in the community.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
They deserve it, but it's just, so like Shelby's got 13, they're the closest. Golden Township has 7. Pentwater had 3, but this year they're up to 6. But we have 24 going on 25.
Everybody lives here.
We're a veterans community.
Yeah.
They
So
like
that's.
us.
They have to be what, 100%? Is that what that is?
You cannot, yeah,
If you're
100% unemployable.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you can't,
But can't they get an exemption if they're, say, 70% disabled, they can get?
It has to be all or nothing.
Okay.
It has to be 100. It has to be
It's
100%.
employable. It's
Yeah,
not
that's what we just
disabled.
said.
Yeah.
Right. it's
So
important.
if you could be 40% disabled, but 100%
Employable.
unemployable. So
Gotcha.
that's, my only objection with that whole thing is that there's no means test for it. So you could have someone who has a family income of $250,000 a year, and they still pay no property taxes.
But if the VA determines that they are unemployable, I don't know, I look at that
I
like
guess when
our veterans deserve.
Right,
Well,
and they do, but when this went into
yeah, I mean,
effect, Tammy was at a meeting with Bumstead, John Bumstead, is our senator now, and that's what she said, it's not that we are questioning what the veterans need and deserve, we're questioning that the government has put this in place and hasn't come up with an alternative for the townships, you
No,
know.
the
an
government
alternative means
refuses.
of-
They've already taken it to the governor and everything. The state refuses to do
No,
anything
there's
for.
nothing, the veterans deserve it, and that's what Tammy said at the meeting, but the biggest thing was when they, quite often, our officials don't always, when they act on something, they don't look at how to replace what they're acting on. And that was a big question in the beginning.
Also, fire department had 31 runs last month. They have, they're up to 16 firefighters now. They have 2 more that, they're waiting for background checks on, and once those pass, we'll be up to, 18, and we haven't been to 18 for a couple of years, so.
yay.
Yeah.
So
Did they ever get their new truck?
yes,
Yes.
they had
Open house.
an open house for it,
Okay.
yeah.
That one is set now, is that the one there's?
That's the one they're trying to sell, and right now we're trying to find a place to put it because we don't want it sitting outside in the elements. But, right now we don't have a
Right.
building to put it in, so. So I don't know. Although Paul Erickson has some empty buildings. Fire trucks.
And we might be able to sell it on the street up there better.
And Colfax has 2 for sale right now on auction.
Oh, really?
It's over 830, yeah, you know, they ended up selling the 2 that they bought from Mason County Rural for the fire department that never happened.
Oh,
Okay.
The, one other thing to add though, everyone should look, I'm not sure if it's just gonna be online or if there'll be a print version also, but, starting in August on a quarterly basis, there'll be a newsletter coming out from Hesperia called, 49421, Hesperia News. Julie Burrell from the Economic Development Group is kind of organized that.
But that's coming out from the chamber, right? Not from the village itself?
Right, yeah.
But she wants
No.
the area.
She wants the area business.
Yeah.
We sent her the stuff on, I sent her the stuff on the recycle.
Yeah, and I sent them stuff as well, also from both the village and the zoning for both the village and the township, so. But I think folks, it's kind of nice, it's gonna be all good news stuff. It's not like regular news where it's all kind of depressing. This is all good stuff.
and also, they were gonna give us new bids for the parking lot, and, they were supposed to get them to me before today, and that didn't happen, but it sounds like it's gonna be between $30,000 and $40,000, so, I'm thinking that after they do the approach, that we might wanna consider to go back and do, a chip and seal or something, just so we have something done, because we don't wanna spend all of the ARPA money this year, but we do have to spend it, and we wanna spend it on things that outside of this, we're never gonna be able to do, but we also wanna be conservative about what we spend too, so. So
Find out the bids.
I'll find out for sure what the bids came back at, but like I said, we might wanna consider going back to the chip and seal. And that,
How bad is that sidewalk, you said something about, you got a bad spot there?
it's out by the recycling thing, but,
There is a bad spot.
oh, there's one, oh, where it, well, it's a lip,
Why don't we do that?
huh?
Why don't we have that done?
Well,
If you
it's,
got extra money,
yeah, but it's only one little
I
side,
think
it should,
Mike would be
it,
able to level it, you know what I mean, level it
it
off
would be
or
less than
something.
$100
oh,
to
I
fix
thought
that.
maybe you could.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with that, it's just right outside the door, there's a lip where the cement shifted and somebody could trip. So if they just,
You gotta go paint it yellow.
yeah,
So you can see
so it wouldn't cost much to do that, so. And that, so, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Or
Okay, motion by Hunter, supported by Robertson to